Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome to AI powered automation series. In this video, I'll show you how to build and deploy custom execution environment for AWS platform. So what exactly an execution environment? Think of it as a container with all the automation dependencies inside, like Cisco collections, Netbox inventory plugin, Netmiko, Paramiko, everything bundled and version controlled. So in today's video, I'll walk you through how to build this from scratch. So we'll break down the structure, understand each dependency file, and build everything using UV and Ansible Builder to package it all into one portable container and plug straight into AWS. So a lot of things to cover, let's dive in. Alright, before we jump into the hands-on part, let me quickly go over the key concept and the tools we'll be using here. Once we understand that, I will get into the setup and I'll walk you through the exact build process. So why do we need an execution environment? And here is the thing. The old approach, we are installing Ansible collections and Python packages directly on our server. And if you have done that before, you know exactly where that leads to. Dependency hell, version conflict everywhere, the classic works on my machine problem. Manual install every single time you set up a new servers. It's a complete nightmare, right? Execution environments solve all of this. You get a consistency everywhere, a portable container, all dependencies included, everything is version controlled. Build it once, run it anywhere. Simple as that. Now let's look at what actually inside an execution environment. Think of it like a layered stack on top of each other, kind of like a cake. At the very bottom, we have the base image, that is your Python plus Ansible core. This is the foundation everything else sit on. On top of that, you have Ansible collections. Think of it like a Cisco for talking to Cisco devices, Netbox for dynamic inventory, and these are defined in a file called requirement.yml. Next layer, we have the Python packages. This is where the PyNetbox, Netmiko, Paramiko lives, all defined in requirement.txt. If you are from the Python world, you already know this file. And finally, at the top, system packages. You need them, stuff like GCC, OpenSSL. These go in bind p.txt. But here is the good news. We are using official AWS image, which already includes all the common system dependencies. So we'll actually skip that file today. Now the execution environment.yml. This is the main configuration file that ties everything together. It tells Ansible Builder what base image to use and which dependency files to include. So essentially, one container equals everything your playbook needs. That's the beauty of it. Alright, here is the workflow for today. 4 simple steps. Create, build, push, and finally use. First, we'll create our dependency file. I'll walk you through each one. Then we'll use Ansible Builder along with the Docker or Podman to build the container image. For the package management, we are using UV. It's a new REST-based Python tool that is significantly faster than pip. Really nice to work with. Once it is built, we'll push that image to AWS and then select into the job template and we are done. That's a whole pipeline. I hope now you got a fair idea about the concept and different layers to build an execution environment. Now let's jump in and see this in action. For this demo, I'm spinning up a fresh Linux node in the Eventy topology, specifically for building the execution environment. We can always repurpose this node later for the other stuff. So let me start this node along with AWS servers we built in the last video. If you haven't seen that, I will link it here and definitely check it out if you are starting from scratch. So after the initial setup, let me bring this node to the VS Code. Perfect. First thing first, let's create a project folder. I will call it as network-ee-aws and cd right into it. Now we need to install UV. This is fast REST-based Python package manager I mentioned earlier. Let me grab and install the script real quick. And we need to add it to our path. Here we go. UV is installed and you can see how quick that was. Let's initialize the new project using UV init. And look at that. It created project.toml file to manage all our dependencies files. Very clean. Next we need to add the Ansible Builder and Ansible Navigator as dependencies. So let's do that with the UV add command. Perfect, those are now installed. One more thing, we need the container runtime. We can either install Podman or Docker here. You can use whichever you prefer. They both work the same way for our purpose. Alright, our environment is ready. Now let's create our dependency files. Okay, first file requirement.yml. This is where we define all our Ansible collections. So let me create this file and inside we are going to list out everything we need. In my case, I'm adding cisco.ios. Obviously, we need to talk to Cisco devices. The netbox for dynamic inventory, super important. We'll use this heavily in the next video. I'm also throwing in the FortiOS collection for the firewalls and of course the foundational stuff for the Ansible as well. And here is the thing, you can add whatever collections your playbook actually need. This is just my setup for the network automation. If you are doing cloud stuff, you can add AWS or the Azure collection. Totally depends on your use case. Alright, now on the second file, requirement.txt. Now if you're from Python world, you exactly know what this file for. Let me create one. We are adding all our Python packages here. First, PyNetbox. This is Netbox API client. We need this to pull the inventory from Netbox. Then we got a couple of other packages like Paramico and NetPico for SSH connection, request for the API calls. Now there is actually a third file, you might see it in other tutorials, bindb.txt. This is your system level dependencies like GCC, SSL, development libraries, that kind of stuff. We are not using that today because our base image include all those packages. Now let's talk about the base image. This is pretty important. So if you go to kumo.io, this is the Red Hat container registry, and browse for the Ansible images. You will find different releases, last modified date, all that information to help you to pick the right one. You can also search from the terminal if you prefer the command line. It will show you all the available tags. Now here is a pro tip. You can download the base image beforehand and store it locally because Ansible Builder won't have to pull it fresh. So let me do that real quick. I'm using the docker pull command here, but the same thing works with the Podman if that is what you're running. Let's verify if it is downloaded. And here we go. We have the AWX-EE version 24.6.1, about 1.75 gigs. We got our base image ready locally. Alright, now we'll get into the creation of the main configuration file, which is execution environment.yml. This is the file that ties everything together. So let's create it. We are using version 3 format here. That's the latest and recommended approach. Under the image section, we specify our base image. That's the one we just downloaded. Make sure the tag matches exactly what you just pulled. Under the dependencies, we simply reference those files we just created. Requirements.yml for the collections, requirement.txt for the Python packages. All our dependencies are clearly defined in a separate files, and the main configuration file just point to them. Very maintainable. Great, now the real fun start. This is where we actually building the things. Let's run the Ansible builder command. So let me break it down what this command does. UV run executed through our virtual environment. Ansible builder is actual tool doing the heavy lifting. The -t flag tags our new image with a name. We specified Docker as our container runtime. I'm also adding -v3 for the verbose output so we can see exactly what is happening. And here it goes. This usually take anywhere 5 to 15 minutes depending upon your internet speed and the dependencies you have. And you can see it is pulling the collection first and installing the Python packages. And all these underlying dependencies we define are getting baked into the container. So this is basically a containerization in action. Everything your playbook needs packaged into one portable image. And boom, successfully built and tagged as localhost/name. You can see it says complete and tell us that build context is in the context folder. Let me verify with the Docker images, and there it is. Our custom execution environment, about 2 gigs created just now. So we literally just built our own custom container. How cool is that? Now before we ship off this to AWS, let's make sure everything is actually inside. Let's run a quick container command and check the Ansible version. So we have Ansible Core 2.15 version that is coming from with the base image. Now let's check on the collection. So run the Ansible Galaxy collection list command and filter for Cisco and Netbox. And there we go. We have Cisco IOS and Netbox both installed and ready to go. One more check. Let's verify our Python packages. Filter with PyNetbox and NetPico. Yeah, Netbox and NetPico is available. This is exactly how you can verify your custom EE before deploying it. Run this quick check, make sure everything you need is actually inside the container. Nothing worse than deploying to AWS than finding out you are missing a package. Great, we got a fully containerized execution environment with our base image and all the dependencies baked in. Alright, now we need to get this image over to the AWS server. So there are two ways to do this. You could push to remote registry like Docker Hub or Kube. Create an account, push your image, then AWS pull it from there. That's a production approach. But for the lab, we are going to keep it simple. Save the image to a tarball and keep it directly to AWS. So let's save this image to a tar file first. Now let's do a quick ls to see what we got our project folder now. So we have a context folder that's we got created by Ansible Builder during the build process. Our execution environment file, which is the main configuration. Now we got a new tar file with our complete image inside. Since my EE node is separate from the AWS server, I need to copy this tar file over. We'll use SAP for that. Okay, let's switch over to AWS node now and access it through the VS Code. First, we'll verify the tar file inside the temp folder. We just copied from EE node. Now here is the important step. We need to import this image into the container runtime that K3 uses. And we can do that with the CTR command, which is making our image available to AWS. Alright, now comes to the exciting part. Let's add this to AWS and actually use it. So open up the AWS dashboard, navigate to the administration in the left sidebar, then click on the execution environments. You will see the default one that comes with AWS. We are going to add our custom one. Click on add button, give a name first, then the image field. This is important. Put exactly localhost/image name, which has to match the tag we have used during the build. Now for the pull policy, select never because the image is already local to AWS. We don't want AWS trying to pull from the external registry. Now hit save and look at that. Our custom EE is now showing up in AWS. So whenever you create a job template, you can select this EE from the dropdown. Your playbook will have access to all these Cisco collections, Netbox libraries, NetBeco, everything we baked into the container. So this is the power of execution environment, consistent, portable, version controlled automation. Alright, that's a complete end-to-end process for building and deploying custom execution environment to AWS. So let's recap what we did. We created 3 dependency files. We ran a build command. We shipped the image to AWS. Then we configure it in the UI. That's it. No more dependency conflict, no more works on my machine problem. I encourage you to play around with this one, figure out what collection and Python packages your project actually need. Create your own EE files and experiment. So in the next video, we are doing something super exciting. I'm going to demonstrate a complete GitOps workflow. Netbox has dynamic inventory, GitHub integration, and running playbook on AWS. Full end-to-end automation pipeline. So you definitely don't want to miss that one. And if you found this video helpful, definitely smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.